So even though we're a few months into 2023, it's hard to believe that next year, if not sometime later this year, will mark 35 years since Rescue Rangers was created and debuted. And I know it's hard to believe it's been that long. But you know what's even crazier? Is that in those 35 years, one character has basically, I guess you could say, surpassed all expectations. And it's all based on her first appearance. And I'm not talking in the To the Rescue pilot movie or 5-part miniseries. No, I'm talking when she first showed up and Category's not included. And that, of course, is Gadget Hackwrench. And my goodness, if you did not tell me that this female mouse would skyrocket to the popularity that she has achieved in these 35 years, I don't know what else to tell you. Because as I've mentioned previously before, my older sister used to draw a lot of Gadget. Used to draw a lot of her, color her in different outfits and stuff. I remember this. I remember this specifically. We would live in our house in, I think it was Fremont. We would live in our house in San Lorenzo, borderline San Lorenzo, Hayward, our duplex there. And one of the things she would do in her spare time when she wasn't doing schoolwork or anything like that is she would actually color and draw a lot of cartoon characters we would watch, more specifically Gadget. And there was just pictures of Gadget lying around in different outfits. I do remember that. But again, if you would have told anybody that this character would skyrocket to the popularity she's gotten to this day, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, yeah, you have essentially a cult. I don't know what they're thinking in Russia that, worships the ground this girl walks on. And that's something else for another time, believe me. That's strange. That's as strange as I think anybody would ever take a fandom, if you will. But still, outside of that, the popularity of this character is mind-boggling. It really is. I mean, to this day, you have fans going out at various conventions. San Diego Comic-Con, Comic-Con in San Francisco, Comic-Con in Turlock, Comic-Con, in New York, Miami, you name it. You have various, D23 conventions. You have fans dressing up as Gadget a lot. I mean, there is not one of those conventions you cannot walk through and you do not see someone cosplaying as Gadget. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. They will cosplay as this girl no matter what. No matter what. And rightfully so, because she's a very popular character, very beloved character. And I think the reason for that is she just has a quirky personality. She's smart, innovative, sometimes a little absent-minded, but also has a genuine good heart. That is until you get on her bad side and then watch out. I mean, if you don't believe me, check out Dirty Rotten Diapers, check out Case of the Cola Cult. You'll see various examples, really. But again, her popularity is just so mind-boggling and all that the main point when the DuckTales remake in its final season put more emphasis on the Disney afternoon than ever before, one of the main selling points was the guest appearance of the Rescue Rangers, but the main character out of all of them that they were focused on showing up was Gadget. And why? Because of everything I said. She just has that persona, that aura about her that draws you to the character. And it's an aura that still remains to this day. I mean, just this 24 hours ago, today, 24 hours ago, they reopened Disney's, not Disney, but Mickey's Toontown. I don't know how the weather is right now over there. I mean, right now it's cloudy and a little bit rainy, right now. So I don't know what it's like out there right now. But when they did go to the opening, the official opening this past Saturday, yesterday, as well as the soft opening, one of the main attractions that got to stay put and not be renovated, not be taken out or anything like that. One of the main attractions that got to stay put alongside the Roger Rabbit ride was Gadget's Go Coaster. Now they rethemed it, Chip and Dale's Gadget Go Coaster, but you can retheme it to Chip and Dale's Gadget Go Coaster or you want, but fans, as I've said before in a video, are still going to look at it as Gadget's Go Coaster. And, you could, like I said, you could put Chip and Dale above the name, take out the S on Gadget, and put the S after Dale's name. It's not going to matter. It's still Gadget's Go Coaster. And you can definitely see this, when you go inside the building itself to board the ride. You see a portrait of her. Up there, you see a portrait of her up there and everything, along with some other significance, connected to her, related to her. And then, of course, you see the little statue outside as you're going up the track on the coaster. As the coaster's going up the track, you see her right there holding up the little blueprints and then basically talking to you, saying, enjoy the ride, I've made some modifications, da-da-da. Now, I don't know if that's Trish McNeely that's doing the voice or somebody that sounds like her, but yeah, I guarantee you when a lot of fans noticed during the soft opening and the official opening, reopening, I should say, the soft reopening and the official reopening of Mickey's Toontown, when they saw that she was still there, not only were they thankful, but they were happy. They were glad. There's no doubt. In fact, you go to some of the Facebook pages, dedicated to Disney Afternoon and Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, and they emphasize that, yeah, she's still there. She's still there and everything. So you have nothing to worry about. Which again, kind of makes you wonder why even retheme it Chip 'n Dale's Gadget Coaster when it's basically, like I say, Gadget's Go Coaster, period. It doesn't make any sense. Again, I understand, they want to put more emphasis on Chip 'n Dale, that's fine. But again, why retheme it Chip 'n Dale's Gadget Go Coaster when we all know it's Gadget's Go Coaster? To me, there was no real reasoning to retheme it, especially if you're still giving credit to the character herself in the description of the ride. But yeah, she's still beloved by a lot of fans, and obviously Disney knows this. They know this, to a T, which is why they kept her around. And again, which is why when you look at the promos that Disney did for the new DuckTales final season, one of the promos primarily focused on her. So obviously, again, like I said, this character's popularity is still felt to this day. And I think it's going to be one of those rare cases that it's a popularity that will never die down. We all talk about Sally Acorn of Sonic the Hedgehog being popular along with Bunny Rabbit and everything. That's true too. But, this is a popularity that's been going on for generations, for years, for decades. And it's a popularity that gets embraced, not, put to the side and told, hey, we're going to bring it back to the forefront, it just takes time, or we're working on it, it just takes time. No, it's a popularity that's embraced, even by those that, brought the character to life originally. But yeah, it's hard to believe that almost 35 years later, and Gadget is still beloved and popular as she's ever been. You look at the various moments in the series, that she's noted for and everything, the hints of who Disney might have been putting, or might have wanted to put her with romantically. I think obviously like AC Race Best wife Toodles, Sarah. I've always been, in favor of Gadget and Dale, and to me, it looked like they strongly were hinting at that being the people that worked on the show and everything. I think they were strongly hinting at that, more so than Chip and Gadget. I think that's obvious. But, it's not just, wondering who would she end up with, but it's other moments. It's other moments besides those hints of, of hints basically showing who she'd end up with, probably more so than anything. It's other moments. It's, like I mentioned earlier, it's like her getting pissed off in dirty, rotten diapers in case of the cola cold. It's her going out of her way and showing how big of a heart she has by trying to help Dale live out his spy dreams, in the manner that she did, even though that's still big evidence. That's still big evidence in many people's perspective of, yeah, Disney, you're not hiding who you want to put Gadget with, kind of deal. But, it's all those various moments that I think has made her so beloved. And then you expand that into the original Disney comics and the Disney Adventures magazine comics, and then you expand that even more so into the revived Boom Studio comics, and it's like you get a good understanding as to why fans love the character. You get a good understanding of as to why they love the character and everything. And also you got to look at it too. She has a bit of a tragic past. She doesn't have her father anymore. And even though the show didn't really what's the word I'm looking for? Pursue that anymore, the comics took up the mantle. The Disney comics, the Boom Studio comics, they took up the mantle and they ran with it. They did something. They did something more with it than the cartoon ever would. And that's another reason why fans like it, because, they could relate to her situation from a parental standpoint of losing their parents, even unexpectedly. And I think that's also what made her so beloved by the fans, because they could relate to that. But outside of it, outside of that, I think it's all the other moments too. It really is. In the cartoon, in the comics and everything. It's just, I'd be here all day. I'd be here all day, talking about all these various moments. And I know there's a lot more that I can talk about, but others could probably fill in the gaps for me. But yeah, it shows you. It definitely shows you to this day why she's a beloved character. Again, even Disney recognizes that, because they kept not only the Go Coaster in Mickey's Toontown, but they still kept most of the emphasis on her. Yeah, they put a little bit more emphasis in certain areas on Chip and Dale and stuff, but most of the emphasis is still on her, which I'm glad that they've kept. But yeah, this is why she's a personal favorite of mine and a personal favorite of a lot of people. But let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel about Gadget? What were your thoughts on her when you started noticing her popularity rising in these past 35 years, even to this day? What made you become a fan of the character, fall in love with the character? How did you feel about her? Let me know down below in the comments, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. You will get an audio podcast version of this at BW Rosas Discussions and all your favorite audio podcast platforms except for Pandora, but more specifically, you can find it in a big way here on you can find it in a big way on Spotify. Also, guys, check me out at VENMO at BW Rosas for content you can't get here on YouTube, and that includes certain content. Also, check me out at DeviantArt.com, it says BVW1979. Also, support me at Patreon.com, so that's BW Rosas with a $1, $3 tier. Also, support me at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2 at Venmo. And also check me out at Cash App at BW Rosas98 as well, to help me out financially in those areas. Would be really appreciative. But guys, give me your thoughts. Let me know how you felt about Gadget when you first saw her. Are you surprised at the popularity that she still has to this day? What made you fall in love with the character, become a fan of the character? What were your favorite moments out of some of them that I mentioned and some that I didn't? And who do you think she would have ended up with? Again, I still believe, like Toodles, Sarah, AC Racebest's wife, that, I think they were hinting strongly at her and Dale. Outside of Dale and Foxglove, but, I think, outside of that, I think they were strongly hinting at her and Dale. But what are your thoughts? Let me know down below, comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later.